Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. You guys ready? All right, let's do this. Yo, guys, what's going on? This is hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. Well, no, it's not really evening on the East Coast yet, or it's beginning to be evening. But good afternoon, good evening to people on the Midwest and on the East Coast. No, it's not good morning anymore. It's also good afternoon to people on the West Coast. What's going on, guys? This is episode something of TNT JoeFi because I lost count, and this is also day number something in quarantine because I also lost count. Today is a late afternoon edition because I had a job interview earlier today, which went fairly well. I think they'll get back to me. They said by next week, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. And if not, I'm gonna still do what I do. So all good. We got some tech news today. Not a whole bunch, but we'll go over what I have. Let me say hi to everybody first, or at least people who said hi in chat. Y 2019, hi Y. How's it going, man? How was your weekend? Hopefully it went well. Brian with TNT JoeFi, the Big Apple, right? Statue of Liberty, and then the Terminator one that it won't show here. But Brian, what's going on, man? Hope you had a good weekend as well. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the OnePlus Z. We're going to talk about the specs. We're also going to talk about, I'm like looking at my articles here, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II, the Pixel 4, some news on that. I don't know. I don't know why I'm reading off what I have for articles here. I might as well just start talking about it. So the big news, at least for me, that I saw was this article from 9to5Google talking about the OnePlus Z set to launch on July 10 in India, potentially under $350. Under $350, that is a deal and a half, if I do say so myself. if these are the specs that it's going to come with. So this article by Damian Wild. Much has been made of the upcoming affordable OnePlus Z, and according to new information, it will launch in India on July 10th, which is about a month from now. If you are not familiar with the OnePlus Z, let me educate you real quick. The OnePlus Z is another phone that OnePlus is working on, which is their budget, mid-range, something cheaper than the OnePlus 8, something cheaper than the OnePlus 8 Pro. And for $350, that would be way under what I thought this would price out at. The specs on this, well, we'll get into that because I've talked about it before, but we'll talk about it here. So, according to sources close to Android Central, the 2020 mid-range OnePlus will be shown for the first time in public during the second week of July. However, the guys over at Android Central also note that, like the OnePlus 8 series launch event, this is still a tentative launch date. Due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, launch events can never truly be set in stone, and the OnePlus Z launch will be no exception. I mean, it's going to be an online event, right? Is that what they said? Did I miss that? But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm pretty sure it's going to be around that time. I don't know why they would delay it any further unless, well, I don't know, especially with everything going on right now, maybe they will. Anyway, leaks have suggested that the OnePlus Z will be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G chipset. If you weren't aware, at first they were talking about it using a MediaTek Dimensity 1000 chipset, which is faster and I think more performance worthy than the 765G, but Qualcomm, I think, either worked something out with them or I don't know, whatever. Some behind the back door deals, whatever. Features a 6.55 inch 90 hertz AMOLED panel. Okay, so a higher refresh rate panel as well. 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage on the base model. All that is pretty good for a $350 price point. That is going to put the Google Pixel. Well, no, wait a minute. First of all, the Pixel 4a is going to be priced at $350 is what they're claiming, but the Pixel 4a is only going to have a 730 chipset as opposed to this 765G. So this OnePlus Z would be faster in terms of performance already. And this is the same Snapdragon that they're going to be putting in the Pixel 5. And who knows what the Pixel 5 is going to be priced at. So that is a hell of a deal. Wow, wait, I don't know why I'm just putting that together now. It is also expected to come with an in-display optical fingerprint reader and central punch hole notch. The rear camera is set up. The rear camera setup is rumored to consist of a 48 megapixel main sensor, 16 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, and a 2 megapixel macro shooter. While these are rumored, some other reports suggest they might not be so accurate. So this report comes after OnePlus CEO confirmed that the second gen OnePlus TV is set to be unveiled in India on July 2nd. Do any of you have the first gen OnePlus TV? I haven't even researched anything about this OnePlus TV. Is it like Android TV? Something I don't own either. I only own a Chromecast. We talked about this on Friday Night Tech Talk, and I've only been using a Chromecast forever. I've never even used a Roku. I've never used Android TV. I don't even know what this OnePlus TV is. Anyway, however, we still have no word on the potential global launch of the OnePlus Z, which will be of particular interest to many. Yeah, I think there's a good amount of us that would be willing to spend $350 for the specs on a OnePlus Z if these are correct or accurate. Which will be of particular, blah, blah, I said that. With the OnePlus 8 series reaching prices that have made many fans wince, me included, I will not pay $700 for a OnePlus 8 or $900 for a OnePlus 8 Pro because that's just way too much money. The OnePlus Z launch will undoubtedly be followed very closely. Another leak via XDA suggests that, as per a customer survey, the OnePlus Z could be available for as low as I don't know exactly what that currency is. Please forgive me. 24,990 or around $330 in India, which is super cheap. Is that rupees then? Is that what that is? This would make it by far the cheapest OnePlus device for some time and would substantially undercut the OnePlus 8 series. Just how the global launch dates and pricing translates is unknown. Uh, yeah, I just said that weird. Just how the global launch dates and pricing translates is unknown. But even if the OnePlus Z were to come at under $400 or £400 in the US and UK, respectively, it would be a very enticing smartphone at the stage of 2020. I definitely think that would be a phone a lot of people would be talking about at under a $400 price point. Taking all of that information on board, are you looking forward to the launch of the OnePlus Z? Let us know down in the blah blah blah. You guys know how that works. Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't know why I didn't put two and two together earlier, but the fact that this phone could be under $400 with a Snapdragon 765G chipset, let's talk about this again. The LG Velvet that has that 765G chipset right now is selling for over $700 US in Korea. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's going to be priced at here in the States or when it's coming to the States. I think it's coming to Europe, or it's going to Europe first before it even touches the States. But the fact that there's such a price difference between those two phones is already, I mean, people are going to take notice and people are going to talk about it. I just want to kind of continue on because I took a couple articles. I didn't read through these. So I just want to see if there's anything some of these other articles missed, and we'll go through it and then I'll go into chat. But this article from Droid Life is saying reported OnePlus Z specs, low price spells trouble for the Pixel 4a. Yeah, and it definitely would, because again, when I pulled this up, I didn't think much about it until I realized that the Pixel 4a is going to have a Snapdragon 730 chipset, and the Pixel or the OnePlus Z will have a Snapdragon 765. And if they're going to be priced similarly, I mean, the only differentiating factor then would be the camera, and who knows how good the camera is going to be on the OnePlus Z. I mean, that might turn people off. If the camera's not as good as the Pixel 4a, then people are going to be like, well, I'll take the lower performance. I might not even notice the lower performance, and I'll pay the $350 for the Pixel 4a because I know it has a better camera than the OnePlus Z. And I mean, I can't give a lot of credit to OnePlus because I don't, you know what? I thought I saw an article that said, or maybe do I have it here? I thought there was an article that said that the OnePlus 8 Pro beat the Galaxy S20 in terms of camera performance on DxOMark, but I don't know. I kind of take DxOMark with a grain of salt. Yes, it's a good way to like baseline where camera quality is, but it's not the be all end all. Anyway, it wasn't long ago when OnePlus said it would offer less expensive phones, a move that would bring it a bit closer to its roots in this industry. This week, specs for the rumored OnePlus Z, previously referred to as OnePlus 8 Lite, have made their way online thanks to a survey that was sent out to select credit card holders living in India. That's interesting. That it would be, was it like a similar survey to the Pixel 5 when people got surveys about what they would rather prefer over a phone? Anyway, yeah, that's what it is. According to this survey, which asked consumers if they'd have interest in this phone, the OnePlus Z features, we've read this though, 6.55-inch Super AMOLED display, 90 hertz refresh rate, 765 snap, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, 4,300 milliamp hour battery. I don't think that they mentioned that, with 30-watt fast charging, and then a triple rear camera setup. I mean, this is a ton of specs for a phone that's $350. The crazy part is the price is reported to be what's about $330 in India. Yeah. I thought I had another article there, and I don't. But that is a deal and a half. I don't know who wouldn't at least consider a phone like that at that price if they were looking for a new phone around the $300, $400, maybe even $500 price point. That isn't those are pretty good specs to see there. Anyway, let me get back into chat. I see BG Tech Life in here. What's going on, man? That's exciting. OnePlus Z. It is. It's actually surprising. I didn't realize how jam packed it would be if it really prices for that much. The question is whether or not that price would translate to something similar in the US, or would they bump it up to around $400, which still isn't bad at the end of the day. But you know, if they bumped it to $400 and they didn't keep it at, like, let's say 350, then there's still a $50 price difference when that Pixel 4a comes out. But anyway, welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the chat. I think it's been a minute since I've seen you. But appreciate you stopping by. I see Max Tech Studios is in here as well. Hey, Jerome, what's going on, Max Tech Studios? Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see here. Brian says that price got me somewhat intrigued on the OnePlus Z. Yeah, me as well. Let me see. Demouse. Am I saying that right? Demouse. I really hope Pixel 5 comes with the 768G. I hope so too, but at least from what I've been reading, it looks like it might not. I mean, I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to be proven wrong, but I don't know. I think at this point, I would rather you not hold your breath for a 768G and just assume it's going to come with a 765G. At least that is just a way to not get that much of a gut punch if it comes with the 765G. Anyway, Demouse, welcome, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Rupees. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Let's see here. Why 2019 says the Moto One Fusion Plus seems like an okay competitor to the Redmi Note 9 Pro. The Fusion just got announced and you should check it out. I sent it through Instagram. I should have checked. You know what? A lot of people have been messaging me and I haven't had a chance to go through anything. It's been a busy weekend. I was actually in Chicago almost the entire weekend, shooting photos, not shooting. And so like it's been a very busy and kind of like very overwhelming weekend, but I'll check that out. Actually, I didn't even read about this Moto One Fusion Plus. I haven't had a chance to go through a lot of tech news this weekend, so I'll take a look. Why does Moto have so many goddamn phones? Why says the OnePlus will probably come out at $399. I could see that when it comes to the US. Demal says this is what Google gets for delaying the 4A launch. I couldn't agree with you more on that statement. They'll wish they launched it at least 2 months earlier. Completely agree. I don't know what Google's waiting for. I don't know why they're waiting, especially because the Pixel 5 is going to be coming out in October. I don't know. The iPhone SE is already, actually I have an article on the iPhone SE. The iPhone SE is out. And it really doesn't seem to have a lot of competition at this point. And the Pixel 4a would have at least given the iPhone SE some kind of competition. But right now, I think the iPhone has the lay of the land when it comes to a $400 phone. Brian says even at $399, OnePlus just pimp slapped the upcoming Pixels. And that's true, man. Yeah, the mouse agrees. Feels the same way. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Google, but we ask this question through every stream. Anyway, guys, with that being said, real quick, guys, if you just came in or you are listening and you haven't had a chance, please feel free to like the stream. Liking the stream helps me in an algorithmic kind of way, aka I think it helps people find the stream, helps people engage in chat. Guys, if you're lurking and you want to say hi, feel free to say hi. I'm a pretty decent guy. I don't bite. Otherwise, if you're just listening, that's cool too. No big deal. If you guys haven't, feel free to subscribe as well. I stream Mondays through Fridays. Not this late, usually earlier than that. I had a job interview today, so I had to stream a little bit later. And if you guys are looking in chat and you see people with green in their name or a red Chicago star next to their name, that is because they are a member of my channel. And you can be a member too for as little as 99 cents a month. Yes, this is my marketing spiel. You can be a part of the Phone Jerome fam. I think I like that sounding better than the Phone Jerome team, squad, community, whatever. All you got to do is click on that join button for as little as 99 cents a month. You will also, get the green in your name. You'll get to have the Red Chicago Star badge, and you'll get to use custom emoji. You'll also have your name on the intro and outro of every one of my live streams. Again, all you got to do is click the join button, or if you can't find it, just go to youtube.com/phone Jerome/join. And let's get back to news. Okay, so let's see here. What else do I have to talk about? The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. This article from Wired, from Wired, right? From Wired, is saying, well, first of all, if you see here, it got rated 8 of 10, which is a pretty high mark. But it's also coming from Wired, so I don't know how I feel about. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know if I typically use Wired as like my go-to review site for phones, but we might as well go through it. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II is a favorite of one of the YouTube members here, which is Mint Arcade, and I'm hoping he'll watch this on the replay. But I thought I would take a look at this because, it has some pretty good marks, or at least this article is saying so. So this is this Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. After years of punching below its weight, Sony finally found the formula for making an excellent phone. Those are pretty big words there. Too bad it costs so much. And then that's the bigger point. That's the bigger point too, is the fact that no matter how good this phone is, I don't know. This is hard for me to I'm thinking about it because it's $1,200. Let's be transparent. It's $1,200. Are you ready to pay $1,200 for a phone, or would you be waiting to see if this would come down in price? Let me ask you, would you pay $1,200 for this phone if you knew that this camera was better than the iPhone 11 Pro? Then would you buy this phone? Let's say it was better in terms of photo and video. Then would it be worth it? But let's get into it. I haven't read this article. I thought I would share it with you guys because I thought it was pretty interesting. Well, I haven't read it, but just these are pretty big words from a tech site. So let me get this a bit bigger here. Great camera system with robust photo and video controls for enthusiasts. The device feels fantastic to hold. That's nice to know. Nice 4K 21:9 screen. Simple Android software. That's good. Will likely get 2 years of Android updates. Okay, so right there, when you say will, quote, or put in parentheses likely, you don't know that for sure. So if software support is very important to you, please keep that in mind if you're thinking about dropping $1,200 on this phone. Good battery life. There's a headphone jack is what it's saying. It's also water resistant and has micro SD card support. Those are all pluses. Tired. Oh, that's what they mean by pros and cons. Wired and tired. That's pretty creative marketing there. Expensive. No 5G in the US model. That's not a big deal for me. Body is slippery. Screen is dim outdoors. Well, that's also a big no for the display to be dim outdoors. I don't like reading that. The last time I saw a Sony Xperia phone in the wild was when I visited Japan in 2018. A sea of Xperias, iPhones, and the occasional Nintendo Switch stood out in Tokyo's bustling and punctual metro subway. I don't think I'll ever see such a sight anywhere else in the world, and that's a shame. That is kind of weird to think about. You would be in a place and you see a bunch of Sony Xperias instead of like a sea of iPhones and Galaxies. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw anyone using an Xperia phone. Have you guys? It's been a while. It's been a minute. I mean, I used to own Xperia phones and I like them a lot. I used to cover them on my channel. I would do photography tests on them, and I think I would review a couple too, because I really like the compactness, the form factor of a Sony Xperia phone. But it's really been a while since then. Okay, let me get back into it. I say that because Sony now owns less than 1%, Wow, of the global smartphone market share. Yet the new Xperia 1 Mark II is so far one of my favorite phones of the year. That is a big statement. If you told me in January that I'd write the last part of that sentence, I'd have laughed. But hey, 2020 has been filled with shock and surprise. After years of testing Sony phones that didn't quite click, what makes this one so special? Well, it's a complete package. From a wonderfully cinematic screen, solid battery life, and a strong camera system, to reliable build quality and simple software, this is the best smartphone Sony has ever made. Wonderfully cinematic screen, but it's not bright enough outdoors. Just keep that in mind. And there's always a but, it's not without flaws. Well, it's also $1,200. So let's also keep that in mind. I mean, can we talk about the name for clarity? It's pronounced Xperia 1 Mark II, following the naming structure of things like Sony's own A9 Mark II camera or Iron Man suits. That doesn't stop me and inevitably most people from calling it the Xperia 1 II. Yeah, I guess I'm just used to calling these Sonys the way that they've been pronouncing it at this point. Also, it's $1,200. Yes, I just said that, a very steep asking price, even if we weren't in a climate where more than 40 million Americans are out of a job. It's funny because I talk about $1,200 phones, and really, I mean, I have a sea of phones sitting in front of me right now. Where is it? I don't remember. Anyway, my Galaxy A71 was $365 that I bought recently. I can't see myself spending more than $1,000. I mean, $1,000 is really expensive right now, but I mean, like when the next iPhone comes out, that's probably the next time I'm spending $1,000. Anyway, what is this photo? This photo is probably from the Xperia 1 Mark II. Oh, there are more photos. These actually look pretty good, and I'm sure this is just from the tech reviewer, right? These aren't professional photos or anything like that, but these are looking really good. I remember Mint Arcade sent me an article with other photo samples, and they weren't the best looking. This is really dark when it comes to exposure, but I don't mind dark and contrasty photos. The shadows just could be pushed up a little bit. I know I'm giving you my opinion, but like, that's what I'm here for. Otherwise, no, these photos look really good. The dynamic range could be a little better here, but again, it's not bad. Okay, that's much better. Why is this one so? Okay, anyway, we'll continue on. That's a good night shot. Ooh, that's a really good night shot, actually. What is is this one not in? No, are they the same? Anyway, they're pretty good pictures. Google Pixel 4 night sight. I like the Sony version of this photo more. What? Why are they not explaining to me? So what is one of this Google Pixel 4 and then one is the? I like the Sony version of this photo more. It's not as grainy and has better colors overall. Though both phones captured the same amount of detail, the Pixel is more forgiving with camera shake, however. Okay, good to know, but what's what? Okay, so no. Why? This is very confusing because whatever. All right. If you prize the camera experience on a phone above, either way, those were all good pictures. Too bad they're not telling me which is which, like, hello, if you want me to compare, then give me an idea of what I'm looking at here. If you prize the camera experience on a phone above everything else, it's worth looking at the Xperia 1 Mark II. Those are very, oh, sorry, I should have had this screen bigger so you guys could have seen the pictures with me. Anyway, those are big words to say. If you prize the camera experience on a phone above everything else, it's worth looking at the Xperia 1 Mark II. One, because yes, for me, the camera experience is usually top priority. I mean, price, Android, like stock Android, is probably up there as well, but the camera experience or photo quality is pretty top notch for me. And so that is something that I might pull my credit card out for, not my money because I don't have $1,200 for it, but something I might pull my credit card out for and test it out. But those are big words. Its best traits lie in its camera system, which was co-developed with Sony engineers that make its popular Alpha 9 mirrorless cameras. Most people just want to point their phone at a subject and tap a button to get a photo. And that's really what I want when it comes to a smartphone. You know, I have well, it's not really in focus there, but I have my DSLR in the back here. And when I shoot with that phone, when I shoot with my DSLR, everything is manual. And I don't do that on my phones. When I shoot with my smartphone, I just like to tap and shoot autofocus for everything. Unless I have to like tap to autofocus, that's about as much as I do. But Sony is explicitly targeting photo enthusiasts and professionals, people who like to manually tinker with their camera settings to control every aspect of a shot. I just can't see myself doing that with a smartphone. But I don't know, maybe times are different. I don't know. I feel like that's a lot more tedious than having like actual like knobs and dials and switches or whatever on my DSLR. I think is a lot easier than going through settings on a smartphone and trying to figure out what's what. But I guess that's not really a fair assessment when I don't do that often. Anyway, this is one of my favorite camera systems since the Google Pixel 4. In fact, the Xperia sometimes surpasses the Pixel in image quality. Those, again, are big words. Photos snapped during the day are wonderfully rich in detail and color, and despite no dedicated night mode, the Xperia 1 Mark II manages to generate surprisingly well-lit images with little noise at night. That even extends to the zoom and ultra-wide angle cameras, though to a slightly lesser degree. Again, these are pretty big statements. The faults start to show when you shoot high contrast scenes. You can see a comparison with the Pixel 4 in the photo gallery, the photo of the girl and the dog, where Google's phone is much more capable of keeping the whole scene exposed correctly. And that's the part I was getting at here. That was this shot. If you see here, and you see that the exposure here is just completely off, and this is a lot more maintained. Okay, well, thank you, Wired, for. I mean, like, what does it take a minute to like properly tell me what's what through the scenes? I don't know. I'm not, whatever. I don't know why I'm bitching. I didn't write this article, but like, you're a reader of it. Like, give us some like transparency here or clarification of what's what. Okay, moving on. The Xperia 1 Mark II's dedicated portrait mode can sometimes snap something magical, like the example in the gallery of my dog, where you can see all the pores in my dog's very boopable nose. More often, however, portrait mode can miss by making bokeh errors around a subject. More importantly, the camera is less forgiving than phones like the Pixel when it comes to camera shake. This is particularly true in low light scenes. Keeping the phone steady as much as possible goes a long way to ensuring a blur-free result. I wonder why it's having so much difficulty, though. Is the image stabilization just not as good as what the Pixel 4 gives you? Or is it the AI in the Pixel 4 that beats that out? It means the Pixel 4 is the more consistent performer of the two. And that's something that I talk about a lot. I keep forgetting to switch scenes here, guys, so you could read along with me. I'm sorry. The one thing I like about my iPhone 11 Pro in terms of its camera is it's very consistent. For the most part, I know what kind of shot I'm going to get out of it, and more times than not, it's going to be a good shot. I can say the same about my Pixel 4, but I feel like my iPhone 11 Pro is more consistent than what my Pixel 4 gives me. If you guys don't believe me, you can take a look at a lot of camera comparison videos I have of the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pixel 4. And this one is saying that the Pixel 4 seems more consistent for him than the Xperia. So this is around 85 photos stitched together, captured with the Xperia 1 Mark II's continuous autofocus and exposure burst mode. My dog ran at me, and every single photo was in focus on his face. The original is much higher quality, but converting it to a GIF and then uploading it to our video player compresses it a lot. That's still pretty awesome that you can do that, though. A few of the inconsistencies I found in the default camera app, like frequently overexposed photos. See, that's not promising, though, at least. Oh, shit. Let me switch this for you guys. Can be avoided by switching to Sony's Photography Pro app. So already it sounds like it's, if you want to shoot better or get better shots out of it, you need to switch to its manual mode, whatever the Sony's Photography Pro app. Why is this so hard for me to say? Sony's Photography, it's because of the Sony's Photography Pro app. Looks like you might need to use that more. So if you're somebody that's looking for point and shoot, which is most people who are shooting on a smartphone, this maybe not be for you. This might not be for you, which comes pre-installed on the phone. It offers far more granular controls than what you get on most other smartphones. And even those with dedicated manual modes in the camera app. You'll find an interface that's very similar to the one on Sony's professional cameras, allowing you the option to set things like shutter speed, ISO, focus area, auto or manual focus, auto exposure lock, and continuous shooting mode. Those are all great things, but again, when I shoot with my smartphone, that's not something I look for. I really just am looking to point and shoot or tap to focus and then shoot. This app mimics the feel of using a professional camera, but it can't quite match the ergonomic experience of twiddling with the cameras. Exactly like I said. That's what I love about my DSLR, because it has physical knobs, like it says here, buttons, switches. It's just much easier. Like I can do it without, like I can have I'm like giving you a demo here. I can have this camera like this, right? Like I'm looking at the viewfinder and I can swap whatever I need when it comes to ISO or the shutter speed with just like the buttons and knobs and all that shit on my phone. I probably messed up the audio. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. It's just much easier to use than going through a phone and hitting back and doing whatever settings on it. Anyway, still, I can't deny that the Xperia 1 Mark II comes close to the real thing. I've taken far more photos with this phone than many others I've tested this year, because it makes me feel more creative, which is precisely what I want from my gear. I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing, especially for people like me who shoot manually. I don't know. Maybe I'd have to test it out, but do I want to shell out $1,200? I don't know. That's another thing too. So what makes taking photos on this phone fun are features like eye autofocus. Sorry, I need to switch this back. A trick pulled from Sony's professional cameras, where the camera can recognize the subject's eyes and keep them in focus. That's a wonderful feature. That's something that my DSLR does really well when I'm recording video. It works on people and pets, and it usually does a good job of tracking and maintaining focus automatically. The camera also knows what it should focus on when you use AF on or autofocus on in Photo Pro, and this is the most evident in the continuous burst shooting mode. Just press and hold the shutter, and it snaps 20 frames per second and maintains exposure and focus throughout. It works like a charm, focusing accurately on all 85 photos I snapped of my dog as he ran toward me. That's great. I love hearing someone's experience on how good it actually is doing. I don't want to go through this entire article because it seems like it's quite long, but just getting the gist of it, just sharing it. Again, I'm trying to figure out if it's worth the $1,200, if it's something I should even try to pull the trigger on. Photos are stored as JPEGs right now, but Sony says RAW support is on the way. When that arrives, it'll give you greater control when you're editing them in apps like Adobe Lightroom. That's good to know. I don't know why you can't do it in RAW right now, though. Another app that comes pre-installed is Cinematography Pro, which I dare say I had a little more fun with. It shoots in 4K with a widescreen 21:9 aspect ratio and at 24 frames per second, making all your clips look like they're from an indie film. You can also shoot at 120 frames per second for some cinematic looking slow motion. That I would love to try. I don't want to get too in depth with it because it's something that is a really cool feature to use when you do videography, to kind of give like that really like slow. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You'll see it in more higher produced videos. You'll see someone walking by or riding a bike or on a skateboard, and it looks like they're going in slow motion. That's because they're taking 120 frames per second. They're slowing it down on a scene that's 24 frames per second. Anyway, really cool feature that I would love to test it out on a phone. Anyway, if you're serious about shooting video, you should pair this phone with some type of smartphone gimbal or tripod, as its image stabilization mechanism could be better. So that's also unfortunate. These are a lot of big pluses on this phone, but I don't know, just some things seem to be lacking, especially when you're spending so much money on it. Still, I had a blast shooting videos with this Xperia. Samsung and Apple's phones might be able to capture some of the technically best and expertly stabilized videos, but Sony will let you have fun along the way. I just want to see how good this is. The quality is not the best, and I don't know if it's because I'm streaming or whatever, but the quality is, and like that's really it's just really, overexposed. The quality isn't the best right now, so I don't know. Maybe it's just the way the video that compressed it is. I'm not impressed. I don't know. Maybe it needed to go on YouTube or something to show. Anyway, okay, we'll continue on, guys. And the rest of the phone, I don't have much to complain about. I love the way it sits in my hand. It's very narrow because of the 6.5-inch screens, 21:9 aspect ratio. It feels like you're holding a TV remote. That's actually how I feel about where is my TCL 10 Pro? That kind of feels like that's actually a really good way to put it. I will have to remember that. When I hold my TCL 10 Pro, because it's such a tall phone, but it's very narrow, it feels like a remote. That's a good way to put it. Okay. Just thought I would interject there. My hands are able to wrap around it, and I can reach most parts of the display easily, though I have large hands, so you might have more difficulty. Plus, the fingerprint sensor is on the right edge of the phone, and it's proven to be faster and more accurate than most in-display fingerprint sensors on other phones today. Truth be told, I am not the biggest fan of in-display fingerprint readers, just because, like, I have it on the Galaxy A71, I have it on the TCL 10 Pro. I mean, I have it on my OnePlus 6T, and I know the OnePlus 6T is older, but I haven't been impressed by any of those yet. I know that the OnePlus 7 Pro is supposed to be better, but I haven't had a chance to try that out yet. So for me, I will reserve my comments on that until I have something better to use. But for now, I'm not really impressed with in-display fingerprint readers at the moment until I get to try something that's better. Okay, the 4K HDR OLED screen is a visual treat, offering up delectably beautiful colors in films like Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. I had no trouble with the battery. The 4,000 milliamp hour cell often lasts me the entire day with heavy use, even with 4K. That's good to know. And the Snap 865 chip with 8 gigs of RAM inside keeps performance buttery smooth. The software experience is an uncluttered form of stock Android 2 with little to no bloatware. I guess I would have to be the real whatchamacallit. I would have to try it out to really see how stock is. I think my interpretation of stock Android might be different than someone else's, but we'll see. Maybe I'll take a look. I don't know. $1,200 is still a lot, but overall, I'm surprised at how much I've enjoyed using this Xperia. So much so that I didn't want to switch back to another phone, which is truly a first for me when it comes to Sony phones. Oh, did I also mention you get a headphone jack, wireless charging, 256 gigs of storage, 256 for $1,200? Okay, that makes sense. A micro SD card slot and IP65 68 rated water resistance. Most phone manufacturers cite 5G. Okay, so like we talked about this, or it was earlier in the article. It doesn't have 5G. Doesn't really bother me. $1,200. Yeah, sure. 5G, I guess, would have been nice, but where are you really going to be using it at this point? Maybe just wait for the Xperia 1 Mark III, if you want really 5G, because that's probably where it's going to come to. So, I mean, he's being honest here. I think this phone is best suited to tinkerers, folks that don't mind fiddling around with settings to get the display calibrated exactly right, messing the equalizer to tune the audio to their liking, or futzing with the camera controls to grab a better shot. If that's not you, look to phones like the Pixel 4 or iPhone 11, which have equally great cameras that don't require you to do as much work to get a stunning result. We also have plenty of other options, blah, blah, blah. And then talking about their site. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's nice to get a different perspective on the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II instead of someone saying the phone's too expensive, and then that's it. So this seems like a pretty honest article, which actually is nice and refreshing to see from a site like Wired. They're saying the camera's good, but it's better in manual mode. It's not that great outdoors in terms of its display brightness. Image stabilization isn't the greatest, so you might need something that has more stability, like a gimbal. But yeah, otherwise he was pretty happy with the camera experience, and that's good to know. Will I get it? I don't know. It's hard for me to shell out $1,200 right now, especially in the times we're in and all that kind of stuff. It's just, you know. Anyway, let me get back into chat here. I see Javier Hidalgo in here. Hey, Javier, how's it going, man? I came for the Xperia 1 Mark II. Well, you just made it. Or did you make it when I was talking about it? That is my next phone. There you go. Did you order it already? Did you actually? Didn't you tell me that you convinced somebody to get the Xperia 1 Mark II? I would pay $1,200 not just for the camera, but for the screen. Oh, front-facing speakers. That's good. I'm glad you mentioned that. Why didn't they mention that in there? A friggin' headphone jack and clean software. There you go. Thank you for adding that input, and thank you for joining the stream, man. If you're still here, appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, Brian says it definitely is a phone for the tech fans. Demal says Sony has excellent hardware. I agree, and good software support. I wish they're more competitive and make better decisions. I mean, that 4K screen doesn't make sense. Hopefully, we get a around $500 Sony with a 700 series. What's that other phone from Sony that's supposedly coming out? The mid-range one. Isn't it the Sony Xperia 10 Mark II? Also, that's really weird that the 10 is the mid-ranger and then the one is, well, I don't know. I don't make the naming schemes, and it's such a weird naming scheme anyway. But the mouse, yeah, I mean, I'm here's the thing is like for me, I value stock Android, I value performance, I value battery life, I value the camera obviously higher than a display. I will prioritize those things over Quad HD, 4K display, 120 hertz refresh rate, 8,000 hertz refresh rate. I don't really care about that stuff. I mean, I do to an extent, but that stuff can come on the back burner. I'll take the other four that I was talking about first. Okay. I see Paul in here as well. Paul Hendricks. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Gonito take a 7+ hour nap. Oh, we'll watch rewind. Hope the interview went well. Thank you, Paul. That's very nice of you to say the interview went well. I'm just, we'll see how it goes. I got to see if for people that don't know who are just coming in, I had a job interview. That's why this is a later stream today. We'll see how it goes. It depends on the pay. It depends on if they're actually offering full-time work over part-time work. It was a long discussion, but it was a good interview regardless. Fizikos, I'm still watching for Raw DNG night mode. Yeah, there you go. Or I'm still waiting. Yeah, I don't know why is there no Raw on it. Vizikos, I don't think I've seen you in a minute, man. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Paul. I don't know why I don't look at the next message. I just read and I try to figure it out. Gonna take a 7-hour nap. Thank you, Paul. Have a good nap. That's a 7+ hour nap. Okay. Paul, sleep well, man. Okay, let me see here. Tim is asking, what do you shoot for DSLR? I'm digging out my 6D for a hiking trip in a week and a half, but I've been thinking about upgrading forever. So I shoot everything with my DSLR. So when I first got it, it was just to do YouTube videos. And when I first got it, I didn't know anything about DSLRs. I actually just shot everything in auto at first because I just was like, oh, I really like that bokeh effect when recording video. And then when I took that break from YouTube, because remember, you guys didn't see me for like a year. For the entire year of 2019, I challenged myself to take a photo a day, mostly in the city of Chicago. And then for half a year when I lived in LA, and I shot a photo a day on Instagram. If you haven't had a chance, please feel free to take a look at my Instagram. I do a lot of shots are from my camera or my camera phones as well, but mostly DSLR. Yeah, right now I actually have a freelancing job for a big brand, doing photography work. And then I do some other stuff on the side as well. Videography work, on top of that. And then I have my other YouTube channel where I do that. If you ever look at my higher production videos, it's all with my DSLR. Just to be honest with you, and I'm sorry guys, I just, this is something that is a passion of mine. So like, I'll just talk about it for a second here. With Tim, real quick, with your DSLR, if you haven't had a chance to really mess around with it and go through all the functions and shoot manually, my advice to you is learn your I've had my Canon 80D for I think 3 years now, and I know this camera pretty much in and out. And I think Well, the thing is, I'm still learning every day using it. If there's one bit of advice I can give you is like learn how to use that camera in and out before you decide to even upgrade. Not that you shouldn't. I mean, if you want to, go for it, especially if it'll like give you more passion to do it. But for me, I mean, first of all, I keep it because that's like I have the body and the glass I have, the lenses I have, like over $2,000, and it's been doing fine for me and I'm still learning a lot. But anyway, that's just my advice. Let me know what you end up doing, Tim. Demouse says Sony stock does have some extra Sony apps, but no redundant dual apps like Xiaomi or Samsung. That's good to know, Demouse. I'm actually glad you said that because that's one of the things that kind of annoys me the most. I hate having two browsers, two galleries, two notes, etc., two messaging apps, two dialers, two calendars. The list goes on and on. I totally agree. Nabil, hey Nabil, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. I'm willing to pay $500 for the OnePlus 7, then $350 for the Z with 765 or with the Snapdragon 765. Nabil, I don't blame you at all. I don't. The OnePlus 7 will probably outperform the OnePlus Z at that point. I'm just wondering how the cameras would be compared to it, but I mean, I don't blame you, or at least the OnePlus 7T, right? Because yeah, OnePlus 7T is $500. Why do I feel like this camera is? Sorry, I can't. Nah, never mind. I feel like the camera's too high. Anyway, that's fine. I'll just sit higher. Anyway, Nabil, welcome to the stream, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, Nabil says Snapdragon 855 is way better than the 765, and I can't disagree. In terms of pure performance and power and whatever, that is it's up there. So okay, guys, let's move on real quick. Not real quick, whatever. We're sitting here. Actually, you know what, guys? I got to use the washroom real quick because I've been sitting here and I'm like, oh, I got to pee. Guys, give me 1 minute and I will be right back. This is the first time I've actually had to step away, but I'll be right back. Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I've been holding that in for I don't know however long, 52 minutes. Brian with the dollar super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the added support. Brian, for you guys that don't know, has been a longtime supporter at this point and has continued his super chat streak, which is who knows, man. Just FYI, Brian, you have surpassed Leon as the all-time donator. So thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for the support, man. It means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you so much. Viziko says OnePlus 7T can be found for under 500 brand new. Because can't you buy it brand new right now from OnePlus for $499 or whatever it is? Anyway, still a great deal for a phone, the OnePlus 7T. Okay, so let's move on, guys. Let's go into the next story here. You know what? We're 53 minutes in. We might make this a long episode if I can last. I have a bit to do today with my other channel, but I I don't know. We'll see. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Okay, so this article from Android Central is talking about I can finally love the Pixel 4's face unlock thanks to dramatically improved app support. I'll get into this. Let's read what this article has to say first. I used to love having a fingerprint sensor. Now, well done face unlock ranks above it. I still don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Face ID on my iPhone 11 Pro, I think is up there. I think, yeah, Touch ID is nice, and it's been, Touch ID worked really well, but I feel like now Face ID is probably, a notch above Touch ID at this point. Well, I guess that depends too, because all of us are wearing goddamn face masks, right? When we're out. So I don't know. But to say that the Pixel 4's face unlock is better than the fingerprint sensor in the rear, I have to disagree with that. But we'll read this article and then we'll talk about it. I'm sure you guys feel a certain way too, but we'll talk about it. Aside from battery life, perhaps the largest complaint about the Pixel 4 is its face unlock system, and it's something that I've complained about as well, guys. You guys know that, or at least for you guys that come to my stream regularly. Not only did it require a larger top bezel on the phone with a seemingly needlessly complicated array of sensors. They're talking about Soli here. But at launch, it also had next to no support from developers. That really rubbed me the wrong way back when it launched. From my Pixel 4 XL review back in October, despite how awesome Face Unlock is, it has limitations that are incredibly frustrating. The technology is clearly sound and secure, but Face Unlock's problem isn't technology, it's app developers. What? So, like, are you forgetting that when you use the Pixel 4, when it first came out, you were able to unlock the phone with your eyes closed? So somebody could take your Pixel 4 and unlock your phone while you were sleeping, because it doesn't matter, or back then it didn't matter if your eyes were closed or open. So that's kind of maybe he didn't test it out then when he was doing that review, but the technology wasn't clearly sound and secure, not then. Maybe now better, but yeah. Okay, so, well, it took a really long time to get here, but now I'm finally in love with Face Unlock. In love is what he's saying. After several months and a lot of complaints from owners, there's now a critical mass of popular and high-profile apps that support Google's Face Unlock. It's improved to the point where there isn't a single app that I need biometric authentication for that doesn't support Face Unlock. So that's not my experience, and I'll get into that, but that's just kind of, I don't know where he lives or what apps he's using, but that's not my experience at all. And I tried it before I got into this today. We have a list of apps that support Face Unlock with over 50 apps, and I'm certain there are many more. But just browsing that list, you see a who's who of big name financial institutions, password managers, and payment apps, enough that I'm certain most people using a Pixel 4 today would have the same experience as me. Not me. I don't have the same experience, not even close. I know there are probably a lot of people still waiting for a credit union app, a smaller password management manager company, or a more obscure app to support Face Unlock, and sadly, that'll likely be the case for a long time. But we're well on the decreasing side of the adoption curve, where most people will not have to enter a password manually on a Pixel 4. If you guys are not understanding, what he's talking about here is, let's say you have a banking app, whatever bank you guys use. And on the iPhone, at least for me, on the apps I use, I don't have to put a password in because it has Face ID and it will unlock my banking app with my face, or my credit card app with my face. On my Pixel 4, I don't have that luxury. I have to put the password in instead. And for me, it hasn't been updated yet. So I don't know where this list is, or if I missed the option somewhere, but I would love to see this list that he's talking about, because the two that I use, I still have to put my password in, which is really fucking annoying, and I would rather use my iPhone instead. So let's see here. Getting to this point of app support was really annoying, particularly in the last couple months, where initial support had been added to many apps, but the developers clearly hadn't cleaned up the interface to make it work seamlessly. But now it feels really consistent across the apps I use, and that's wonderful. I just don't know what he's using because I don't have this experience at all. What about you guys? Are any of you using a Pixel 4 right now that has face unlock? And if you are, do you have a banking app that you're able to unlock your face with? Because I don't. Let's see here. Face unlock is one of those features that's mostly invisible, and that's what makes it wonderful. I just pick up my phone and it's unlocked. Granted, my face unlock on the Pixel 4 is a lot better ever since they updated it, but I still have that annoyance of not being able to get into my apps. And because Google's Face Unlock is particularly advanced, like Apple's Face ID, it works incredibly well in all conditions with tons of changing variables. Haircuts and facial hair have come and gone, and I haven't had to retrain it. Now that the weather is pristine in New York City, I actually have consistently good luck with Face Unlock working while I'm wearing sunglasses. They require eyes to be open option, which Google added after launch, doesn't even add a notable delay. It's still incredibly fast. And excuse me. And yes, much to my surprise, eye open detection still works through sunglasses as well. Face unlock is one of those it just works features that is technologically impressive, but in daily operation, you'd have no idea. A perfect example of how Google builds things. Okay, I understand why Google wasn't able to get app developers on board with Face Unlock from the moment the Pixel 4 launched, but it unfortunately marred first impressions of an otherwise amazing technology. Now, with several months for developers to catch up, Face Unlock is an incredible feature of the Pixel 4 and will hopefully continue be on the Pixel 5 because I don't want to use fingerprint sensors anymore. You don't? That is, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, I don't want to say it's an ignorant thing to say, but why not? What fingerprint sensors are secure, and in a lot of cases, they probably work faster than Face Unlock does. Not to mention the fact that one thing I always talk about on my Pixel 4 is the fact that, or not my Pixel 4, but on the Pixel 3 that I loved is I was able to swipe down, right, for notifications or swipe up. And part of me feels like they could have even done more with that. With swipe gestures, right? Imagine using your phone to scroll through a Chrome browser. Like, why couldn't that be a thing? Or if I was like on an Amazon app or whatever, right? Like reading a book or something, just scrolling. I feel like even just doing that would be a huge plus. I mean, yeah, I guess you could just, use your thumb or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like, why not? Why not add a couple more gestures? Or why not give us Face Unlock and give us a fingerprint sensor? This is actually something I've talked about before where, like, why not just give us both? But it's probably, I don't know, not counterintuitive, but it doesn't make financial sense to the company, right? Why give us more things that are beneficial to us that could provide us, better efficiency of using our phones then I for them, I think their bottom line is how much profit they can make, and that's why I don't work in that sector because it would be too expensive otherwise to add however much money it costs on there. It's just, it doesn't sit well with me. But what I'm trying to say is, right now, after I kind of skimmed through that article, when they said, well, you could use whatever apps now to unlock it with your face, I use the Chase app and I use the Capital One banking app. And neither of those two, I just checked. I can't unlock that shit with my face. Maybe they pushed an update. I should check if they pushed an update because I don't see it. They didn't add Face Unlock for my Chase app. They didn't add Face Unlock for my Capital One app. And yeah, there's no update. I don't see an update for it. I don't see an update for Chase. And if I go to Capital One, I don't see an update for that either. So I don't know what he's using. I don't know. That's just me. So until they add those in there, then yeah, maybe I'll say something better. But for now, no. It's what we're halfway through 2020. This phone has been out for over half a year, and I still can't unlock my Chase app without putting my password in. I still can't unlock my Capital One app without putting my password in. And that's a shame. That's a disappointment. I paid $800 for this phone. You're going to give me Face ID or Face Unlock, and I can't do that while I can do that with my iPhone 11 Pro. We can blame the developers or whatever, but this is something that maybe they could have rectified if they just kept the fingerprint sensor another year, or if they just kept the fingerprint sensor altogether and then added whatever they wanted to in there. That's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. And like, I feel rightfully so, because I still can't use a banking app or the credit card app or whatever without putting my password in, which is frustrating. And that's why I just use my iPhone 11 Pro at that point. If I have to open up my Chase app, if I have to open up my Capital One app, like, why would I use my Pixel 4 if I have to put my password in? And at this point, at least it saves a password so I can just like click through. But why? Why even go through that extra step? It's just annoying at this point. I don't know. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Sean says, "What up, Jerome? What up, Sean? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. How's that job interview? It went pretty well. It went well. I think they're still undecided whether they're looking for someone to do it part-time or full-time. And in that case, I just don't know where I feel if it's part-time. It also depends on how much they pay. But it was a second interview and it was with pretty high-end people. I thought it went well and it seemed like they're really interested, but I think they'll get back to me next week, they said. We'll see though. The pay has to be right and the hours have to be right. Yeah. But Sean, welcome to the stream, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, Viziko says, why not both? Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Why not both? Why are they making us, or why are they forcing us to just pick one over the other? I can understand with Face ID because the home button was always in the front, and getting rid of that home button or getting rid of Touch ID, gives us a bigger display. But with the Pixel 4, why not just leave the rear fingerprint sensor on? I mean, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, Demouse says rear fingerprint sensor is still my number one preference for security, though I find my OnePlus 7's face unlock too fast and convenient. That's the thing though. How secure is the OnePlus 7's face unlock? I mean, it might be fast and convenient, but can you use it for banking apps? Like, will developers use it for that? Viziko says that's because Android at first didn't have a general biometric API like it has now. Fingerprint API is older and all the other phones have it. Thank you for sharing that. He also says Samsung also had a retina scanner and had the same compatibility problems. Yeah, I think Brian is pretty vocal about the finger or the retina scanner. He always liked it. I never had a chance to use it. I have no idea how well it works, but I heard it was pretty decent if you enabled it. Demouse says, yeah, I love the swipe down for notifications gesture on my Nexus 6P. It's still the best phone I've used. Where is mine? Mine is right here. I have mine right here. It's battered and bruised, but it still works. Done with my Xiaomi's and OnePluses. I really hope the one of the Pixels comes with a 4,000 plus milliamp hour battery. I'm assuming the Pixel 5 has to at this point, after all the shit it got. I can't see them not putting at least 4,000 milliamp hours, at least in the Pixel 5 XL. But yeah, who knows? So, okay, guys, before I continue on, I know we're past an hour, but I'll keep going on. We have a couple more things to talk about, and I'm feeling good, so we might as well. But real quick, guys, if you are just coming in and you guys have not already, please feel free to like the stream. Liking the stream helps in an algorithmic kind of way, aka I think it helps people find the stream. If you guys haven't had a chance, say hi in the chat, especially if I haven't talked to you before. Like, let's talk tech. Let's kind of converse, engage in the community. And if you guys haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe. I stream Mondays through Fridays. I stream on the weekdays for at least an hour. We talk tech, we go through things, we talk in the community, and have a good conversation. And last but not least, if you see people in the chat with green in their name and you see like a red Chicago star next to their name, that is because they are part of the Phone Jerome fam. And you can be part of that family as well for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do is click on the join button here. You'll get the green in your name. You'll get the red Chicago star badge next to your name. And you'll get to use custom emoji, and you'll get your name in the intros and outros of all of my live streams. Again, you can do so for as little as 99 cents a month for clicking or on clicking by clicking the join button. Or if you can't find it, just go to youtube.com/phone Jerome/join. All right, guys, let's continue on. Let us talk about what do I have here? I have actually never heard of this site before, so I don't know if this is true or not. I just laughed when I saw it, but this article from Android Rookies, I've never heard of Android Rookies, if they're new or what. But a whopping 13,500 Vivo smartphones found running on the same IMEI number. I can just imagine how many phones have the same IMEI number. Meerut Police from Uttar Pradesh in India has found that around 13,500 Vivo smartphones have the same IMEI number. The cyber cell unit from Meerut Police has been investigating the case from the last 5 months. According to the TRAI, every smartphone is compulsory to have a unique IMEI number, but here the cyber cell has found a security breach barring 13,500 Vivo smartphones with the same IMEI number. How does that happen? Does somebody hack the phone? I don't understand how that works. In 2017, the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India issued a notification stating that all smartphones would have a unique IMEI number, failure to which in the form of manipulation or tampering could lead to 3-year jail. The security flaw came into picture when a sub-inspector gave his smartphone to the staff at Cybercrime Cell for examination, as his smartphone was not working properly despite being repaired at a Vivo service center in Meerut. After examining, the cyber cell of Meerut Police found that the IMEI number of the smartphone was different from the one that was printed on the smartphone's box. Oh shit. So someone just like counterfeiting these, giving it the same IMEI? Is that what I'm understanding? Soon after, they contacted Vivo India about the whole issue, but not yet received any reply from the company. The cyber cell further contacted the service center and asked for checking that if the smartphone had a change of IMEI when it was serviced, blah, blah, blah. Soon after, the Meerut police filed a case against the Chinese manufacturer and its service center. The telecom operator informed that as of September 24, 2019, the same IMEI number has been running on 13,557 mobile phones in different states of the country. The police reportedly handed a notice to Vivo's India nodal officer Harmanjit Singh under a Section 91 of the CRPC. This is a serious security issue, as it is an advantage for the attacker to mislead and criminal activity. The company is yet to release a statement on the matter. I don't know. Just how does that even happen? I don't even know how you get 13,500 phones with the same IMEI number. Anyway, just a small snippet. I love tech a lot. Hey, I love tech a lot. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. I don't know if I've seen you here before. Hey, bro, I want to fast, but doesn't it make you feel weak after a couple of days? Also, is it safe? Thank you for joining the stream. I had no idea. For people that don't know, I have a fasting channel where I talk about fasting. If you want to fast, it could make you feel weak. I actually am working on a video about this, so maybe hold on to that for my other channel. But it doesn't make me feel weak after a couple of days. Like right now, as I'm talking to you, I haven't eaten in almost 3 days. If anyone that didn't know that, I'm sure no one in this chat knew that. And if I seemed off to you, or if I've ever seemed off to you in any of these streams, I have consecutively been fasting for 3.5 days, sometimes 4.5 days, and none of you have noticed. If I didn't say it, you guys would have no idea, I'm pretty sure. Is it safe? It is. I think you just have to, it really depends. You have to listen to your body, but I don't want to get into that right now. If anything, maybe DM me or message me on my other channel and we can talk about it there. But I love tech a lot. Thank you for joining the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you even knowing about my other channel. Means a lot to me. Big House Productions is here. Hey, Jerome. Hello, stream. Big House Productions. How's it going, man? Glad you can make it. Nice to see you as always. I am streaming a bit later today. If you didn't realize, I had a job interview earlier today and it went pretty well. But yeah, glad you can make it, Big House. Nice to see you. Nice to always see you. Tim Schumann says, also found you through the fasting thing. Wow. That's really surprising. I'm surprised that you guys found me through fasting and made your way to my main channel. That's pretty awesome. I appreciate that. If you feel weak, it's probably an electrolytes thing in my experience. And that's something I talk about as well. Also, it's very safe if you've got body fat on you. Tim says right on the nose, exactly correct. If you're feeling weak, take your electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium. I did talk about that in my fasting channel. I have a video on it, but it's actually something I'm going to be covering on my next video. But Tim is right. Tim, wow, that's awesome. I'm also really surprised you found me through that. Thank you for stopping by. Guys, thank you for supporting me on 2 different platforms. Appreciate it. Demouse says, why are you fasting? Demouse, if you're new to my channel, you are looking at somebody right now that weighs 140 pounds. I used to weigh 200, almost 200. Well, at one point I weighed over 235. At this point, I've lost over 80 pounds. It can't be healthy, bro. I don't want to get into it here. Just if you ever get a chance, take a look at the benefits of fasting. Take a look at autophagy, take a look at insulin resistance. There's a lot that goes into it, but this is not the place for it here. But anyway, we will keep it on another subject. I try to keep both of those channels separate, but anyway, guys, we'll continue on. I'm already subscribed to your other. I'll be looking forward to watching that video. Well, thank you guys. Big House says, cool, good luck with the job opportunity. Big House, thank you so much, man. I will keep you guys posted. Hopefully, if I do get it, it won't affect my streaming on the daily. I'll figure that out. The one thing I promised myself and to you guys is I would never stop streaming daily, or at least on the weekdays, because I enjoy it and I love talking about tech. And yeah, it's an important part of what I do now. So, all right, guys, let us continue on. This article from Android Police is talking about Google accidentally publishes developer details for doorbell and styler assistant integrations. So are they adding Google Assistant to doorbell stuff? And I don't know what a styler is. I tried to read it real quick and I'm like, I still don't understand what a styler is. Before any of you guys Google it, do any of you know here what a styler is? Because I have no idea what it is. Without checking it, do you guys know offhand what a styler is? Assistant integrated doorbells and stylers both already exist, but details behind how they were integrated was kept private. Over the weekend, Google tweaked and subsequently reverted a change to its assistant developer documentation. 2 ostensibly new device types were added to its list: doorbells and stylers. Note, neither of these are actually new, and assistant integrated products in both categories already exist. So here's the thing. I don't use a doorbell. I've lived in apartments most of my adult life, so I don't use a Ring doorbell or any kind of doorbell, so I don't even know how you would integrate an assistant to it. We're pretty sure Google simply leaked developer and manufacturer facing documentation for the 2 categories that wasn't previously public. Fun fact, as of right now, Google doesn't list doorbells as a supported device type in its smart home device types developer documentation at all. All we can really infer from this change spotted over the weekend is that if Google is documenting details for how doorbells work in a way it wasn't previously, the company may be opening up how doorbells can be used by developers in their own assistant integrated actions and services, or potentially expanding which companies will be allowed to make their own products in these categories. How do you use, what do you use Google Assistant for when it comes to a doorbell? Is it asking Google who's at the door? Is that what you would use it for? To show it on your Chromecast? That's the only thing I think I know how to use when it comes to that integration. And then as far as a styler, Okay, it says here, if you aren't familiar, a styler is a sort of high-end clothes cleaner. I still don't understand what that means. You can use for things that can't just be tossed in a washing machine or to stretch out the time between dry cleanings. Maybe it's because I don't use anything but a laundromat. Often they use steam to okay. They use steam to sanitize a garment without actually washing it in the traditional sense. So is it like what the hell? Is it like an iron that has steam? Is that what it is? And you know what I mean? A steamer? Or is a steamer and a styler completely different? Or like, am I talking to the wrong group of people where none of us know what a styler is? And why would you put integration into something like that? Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know why. I don't know why I brought it up. I just thought it was weird. And I thought I would share it. So, okay. Anyway, Demouse says, I get it, but be safe, man. Yeah. Trust me, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't do my research. If there's one thing that I try to be pretty good about, it's my research. You guys know how I do on my channel. I'm very transparent. I'm very honest about how I feel. Again, it's a topic that I do discuss often, but I don't discuss it here just because, most people don't want to, most people come here for tech stuff, but yeah, no, I'm safe. Trust me. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm very thankful that I found something that works. So, anyway, just Google LG styler. Okay. Demouse, you know what? I'm going to do that right now. Just so I can understand what an LG styler is. Discover the LG. Okay, guys, we're going to look at what a LG styler is. Okay. So it's this thing? Oh shit. Is it like a room? Wait, you just toss it in here? No, LG, I don't want feedback. This cannot be cheap. How expensive is this thing? So wait a minute. Okay, the only reason oh, what? Okay, first of all, I don't have money to buy an LG styler. But that's so interesting. You know what? I have basketball jerseys that are stitched like swingman jerseys. They're the higher end jerseys, and I never put them through the wash. I just wear them, and I wear them when I know I'm not going to be like working out or anything, and then I just hang them back up. So maybe that's what a styler would be for. That's how, like, typically if I went to the dry cleaners, that's what I would bring it in for. Okay, well, thank you, Demouse, for sharing. 1350. Jesus Christ, yeah, no, I can't even. Wow. Okay. Galaxy Ultra or an LG styler. uh okay, let me see here. Tim Schumann says, do you do live streams on the other channel? You know what, I don't just yet. Tim, I've only had that channel for 2 months, but I already have like almost 500 subscribers, which is crazy to think how quickly that channel is growing. And maybe when it gets to a thousand, I might do it. But I have a bunch of other segments coming. Right now, I don't, and I don't know if I got that correctly. I did. Tim, you just became a patron on my other channel, didn't you? Someone else just became a patron on my other channel, and I haven't even really shared that yet. So, Tim, thank you so much for being a supporter on my other channel, I'm assuming, or I don't know if you did it on this one, but either way, thank you for the support. What I will do is I will shout you out on the other channel as well, because someone else supported me also, which is crazy. It's I'm you guys, I am very thankful for all the support, whether it's this channel or the other one I just created. Appreciate it. Tony is in here. Tim, by the way, please, again, thank you so much. I didn't mean to just cut off there. Thank you for the support. Thank you everybody for the support. Tony Pazzo is in here. Hello, Phone Jerome. Hello, Tony Pazzo. How's it going? Glad you could make it. Welcome to the later stream today. I had a job interview today, Tony, which is why I'm streaming later. I'm guessing you're out of work or you're at home or you're driving. But Tony, welcome, man. Selling my Samsung S20 unlocked for $600 mint with cases and tempered glass screens. Tony, did you come in here just to peddle your product? It's okay. Anybody, Tony's a good guy. If anyone's looking for an S20 unlocked for $600 mint, That's a pretty cheap price. Look for Tony Pazzo. Tony's a good guy. Tony, appreciate you stopping by. Just don't come here to peddle your shit, or I'm gonna. Just kidding, kidding. Let me see here. I love tech a lot. Says that looks cool. I can hide my kid when he pisses me off. No, don't. That sounds like child abuse. We do not condone that here. Tim Schumann says, as my dad says, it's just money until you don't have any, and then you're fucked. Very well said, Tim. I have been on that end of the spectrum for a bit now. Tim, thank you so much for the support. Again, appreciate it. Tony says, I'm home. Awesome. And yes, I'm slanging them phones. Yeah, you are. You are. I would buy that phone from you if I had money, but I might be spending my money on something else. I don't know. I'm still looking at that Xiaomi Mi 9T. Anyway, different conversation. Big house, LOL. All right, guys, let's continue on. Jerome, I'm cracking up. You should be, man. This is a long stream today. We're about to get an hour and a half in here. There you go. Big house wants that TCL 10 Pro. There you go. I think Tony's probably still working on videos for it, which, by the way, I am sure TCL is not the happiest with me because I meant to give them videos and I haven't gotten to it yet. All right, guys, let's move on. I have this article from GSM Arena. The upcoming Vivo IQOO. Can anybody who's in here right now, can anybody tell me if I'm pronouncing IQOO right? Is this pronounced something else? Is it the IQ, the IQ, or is it the IQOO? Anyway, the upcoming Vivo IQOO 3 Pro appears on Geekbench. That's a pain in the ass to say. According to one leak, there is another Snapdragon 865 powered Vivo on its way, and it even got tested at Geekbench, where the results are in line with the rest of the Qualcomm powered flagship, which is great. So another phone with the flagship 865 chipset that will probably never come to the States because we just don't get phones here for some reason. Okay, the Vivo V2024A runs on the Kona platform, which is the code name of the Snap 865. It'll boot Android 10 out of the box and use 8 gigs of RAM, so pretty good specs there. A separate rumor then claims that the phone will be belonging to the IQOO sub-brand, although we've got little evidence to support that. Vivo did update the X series only last week, and the next lineup also got an S model this year. So joining the quickly expanding gaming sub-brand does make sense. We'll be on the lookout for more information and keep you posted. I don't know anything about this phone, guys. I just thought I'd share it for anybody who's in India. I know we have people in the chat here who are from like all around the world, which is awesome. And I love that. I wish we got more phones here in the States. God, I wish we just got all of them here in the States, but we don't. The way I feel about it is the more competition we have here, the better product we'll get, the better pricing we'll get. But Vivo IQOO. Nobody here is telling me how this is pronounced, so I'm guessing you guys don't know either. Big House has no idea. There are so many names. I know. Vivo la Vivo. The mouse says fucking BBK and their subsidiaries. Yeah, I don't know, man. What are you gonna do? Okay, moving on. Oppo A12. These are smaller stories, guys. These are my trailing stories. I don't have a ton of them, but the Oppo A12 with MediaTek Helio P35 announced. Again, we're talking about Oppo or Vivo or IQOO or Redmi or Realme or Xiaomi, OnePlus. What am I missing, guys? Am I missing another brand there? Poco. I'm trying to remember all of them offhand. I think that's it. I think I got them all. Okay, so this phone is getting announced. Whatever this is, the Oppo A12. I think this is a lower end phone. I glanced through this article earlier. So because I wanted to actually get the price here, Oppo has expanded the A series of budget smartphones with the launch of the Oppo A12. The smartphone starts at a price tag of Rs 9,990. Is RS still the equivalent to rupees? Is that what that is? I think if I price that right, right under 10,000 rupees is about $130. And so super cheap. Comes with a LED flashlight, dual camera, fingerprint sensor. Front has a water drop notch, 6.22-inch eye protected TFT LCD panel. What does eye protected mean? With a resolution of 720, so a lower resolution. 19 by 9 aspect ratio. Other features. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all this. So yeah, just another phone, a cheaper phone from Oppo, and just thought I'd share. So last but not least, I have this article from 9 to 5 Google about the Chromebook. Not the biggest news story in the world, but for people who know Doom, I used to be an avid player of Doom, but the Chromebook owners can get 2 Doom games for free. And I don't know what kind of Chromebook you have to own here, but for years now, Google has offered a handful of perks to Chromebook owners to both entice new buyers and sweeten the deal of getting some Chrome OS hardware. Recently, Google has updated its perks page for Chromebooks yet again, this time offering 2 free Doom games to every Chromebook owner. Not too long ago, Doom and Doom 2 both arrived on the Google Play Store for all Android devices. Specifically, these are the original Doom titles, the first from 93 and the second from 94. Notably, you'll need to be on your Chromebook to redeem the perk. Yeah, that makes sense. Doom games aren't the only free titles available to Chromebook owners either. So does it say whatever? You just have to own a Chromebook? Or do you just have to buy a new one? It's a $5 value, so you get $10 off. This is such a very small article here. This promotion isn't locked to new purchases, but actually works with anyone who simply owns a Chromebook. Oh, that's kind of cool, at least. I mean, why not? You'll end up redeeming both titles through the Google Play Store after tapping the Get Perk button on Google's site. So for anybody that owns a Chromebook, if you want a copy of Doom or Doom 2, you can get it for free, apparently, if you own a Chromebook. And I think that's it. That's how we're gonna close it off today, guys. I don't know what you guys are talking about here. You're naming another brand, Yuma Digi. I don't even know what that brand is. I've never heard of it. If anyone would know, it would be Big House, because Big House gets these other phones that I apparently do not. It's 720p. Yeah, it is. Demouse says, so much for children's education. Now maybe they'll launch a Chromebook with an RTX 2080 Ti. Yeah, I don't even know if children want to play Doom. I'm sure they would. Why wouldn't they? Or at least try it out. So, okay, guys, I think that's it. Real quick before I go, if you guys haven't had a chance to like the stream, please feel free to like the stream. Doing so helps me in an algorithmic kind of way, aka I think it helps people find the stream. If you guys haven't already, feel free to subscribe. I stream Mondays through Fridays. A bit earlier, not this late. I'm just streaming a bit later today because I had a job interview earlier today, like I've said many times. But if you guys haven't already, feel free to subscribe. And last but not least, if you guys are looking at the chat and you're seeing people with green in their names or a red Chicago star next to their name, that is because they are a member of this channel. They are part of the Phone Jerome fam. And you can be part of the fam too. And all you got to do is click that join button. You'll get green in your name. You'll get to use, you'll have the red Chicago star next to your name, and you'll get to use custom emoji. And you will also have your name on the intro and outro to every single one of my live streams. You can do so for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do again is click on the join button. If you can't find it, you can go to youtube.com/phone Jerome/join. If anything, guys, it's just a way to support me. And regardless of what you do, whether it's just liking or subscribing or going that extra step or even super chatting or whatever, all of that is very appreciated by me. I always try to make a point to say hi to everybody and talk about, be part of the community and engage and stuff. And that kind of stuff is I think for me, it's a pillar of what I want this to be. And I will strive to keep doing so. Let me see here real quick. Big House says, how is life with the Galaxy A71? It's actually not bad, Big House. I'm actually surprised at how well the 730 does. I have not had a chance to do camera comparisons yet. This was a kind of a very overwhelming weekend for me, Big House, because I spent most of the weekend in Chicago. I was doing a lot of photography stuff with the protests and with like everything going on. Trying to stay safe, but trying to do my part in the city too. But I will get a chance to eventually test the cameras. But so far, so good. I'm actually surprised at how well it's worked. I'm running everything stock on it right now, the Samsung One UI, and it's not bad. I just wish I could have scroll up to get all my apps instead of scrolling to the left, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. Again, guys, with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining today. Again, I will be back tomorrow at an earlier time. We're going to do this all over again. We're going to talk about tech. Hopefully there's going to be more stories to talk about. Usually there is. And if there isn't, we can always talk about something. We can always have a conversation about certain phones and how they compare and what and we can ask questions and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to leave it at that. Come back tomorrow, guys. We're going to talk more tech. We're going to talk more about whatever's going on, and we'll do it all over again. Real quick, I see Kyle in here. Hey, Kyle, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Sorry, we're closing it up here, but feel free to watch the replay when it comes out. Getting 11 screen hour time in a 48-hour charge since putting the Pixel experience on the Mi 9 Lite. Thank you for sharing that, because that's what I want to do. I want to put the Pixel experience on the Xiaomi Mi 9T, because that's the one I want to get. Google Cam has been a beast also. Kyle, thank you for sharing that. That's incredible screen on time life on there. But thank you, man. Kyle, come back tomorrow. Everyone else, come back tomorrow. Again, thank you guys so much for making it. We'll do this all over again. Appreciate everyone. I always say that, but I really do. Until tomorrow, that's it. Bye, guys. Have a good one. Here comes the outro.